the last scout here, and I came across this information, and I just wanted to throw it out there because one thing that has really bothered me a lot these last couple of years is the inability to talk to college students on any subject about what's going on in the world. I mean, they have no ability to articulate any of their positions politically. Their basic understanding of history and geography is perplexing, to say the least. And what I came across is an article that discusses what's known as the Confucius Institute, and it is a program that goes to and is installed into over 500 universities across the world and over 100 universities here in the United States alone. And the price tag that the Chinese are willing to pay for this Confucius Institute program is $100 billion annually. Yeah, you heard me right, $100 billion annually. And this all comes from Communist China and from the Ministry of Defense. Now, the way that the universities are approached with this program, is to teach about Chinese culture and Chinese language, you know, all up on the nice and nice, when in fact it is a communist indoctrination program by the Chinese, which the Chinese admit it themselves. And let me read this to you here. A 2011 speech by a standing member of the Politburo in Beijing laid out the case. The Confucius Institute as an appealing brand for expanding our cultural abroad, Li Changchun said. Now, he is, or at the time was, the Minister of Education in Communist China. It has an important contribution toward improving our soft power. The Confucius brand has a natural attractiveness, he says. Using the excuse of teaching Chinese language, everything looks reasonable and logical. You catch that? Everything looks reasonable and logical. We know that about communism and how communism is subtly brought in. Same thing with socialism. I mean, you look at Saul Alinsky and study his rules for radicals and the pillars of communism. So it's just amazing that we allow in this country a communist propaganda program, a communist indoctrination program by the communist Chinese to our universities. And when you sit and put a couple of minutes of thought into it, it makes sense why dealing with college students can be like the most irrational experience you can ever have with another human being. Like I said earlier, they can't articulate their political positions. They're brainwashed. And you have the Confucius Institute from Communist Chinese that is totally embedded itself as teaching Chinese culture and Chinese language to the American student, when it really is communist indoctrination. And you can give it some thought and it makes sense. Down below I'll leave a link to this article for you to read it fully and see for yourself, because it's taken place at this Confucius Institute is embedded in George Washington University, the University of Iowa, University of North Carolina at Charlotte, over 100 universities in this country. Communist indoctrination being taught right here in America, and we're having, oh man, the things that we have to deal with in this country. But I mean, yeah, China does paint a nice picture. If you look at New China TV on YouTube, it's a propaganda piece. I like to go there every now and then for some of the reports that they do around the world that are objective, but it's definitely a propaganda YouTube channel for China and saying how wonderful China is. But one thing you can never forget about China is you cannot forget that China is a communist nation, and communist nations have always been a threat to the United States of America. So check it out, Confucius Institute. That's all I have on this subject. Take care. God bless. This is the Last Scout, and I'm out.